Still, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, so there we go. All right, so now you can hear me. That's good. Well, I was just talking and having a big old conversation, and nobody was hearing a word I was saying. Well, I'm glad you can hear Tigger. He's just hanging out in my lap. Instead of pulling him up, I'm going to just angle the camera down so you can see him. And you can just watch Tigger while I talk. So Invisible says I looked happy. Well, what I was saying is, as you know by my title of the live stream tonight, that I had to postpone my travel. Tigger is really happy that I postponed my travel. See, he's smiling, and he's just having a good time, and he's happy that I have postponed my travel. But there's a good reason behind that. I understand. Hey, William, welcome to the live stream. Good to have you on here. Looks like you've got a new YouTube channel or new YouTube. I don't remember ever seeing that one there. William O. Smith Ammo. I don't remember seeing that one before. And CG says that he hopes things have been going really well. They have been. Thank you for asking. Invisible says Cam is better on you. William says can't see you, Sam. That's because I'm letting Tigger be the star of the show right now. And retirement is underrated. Hey Tim, how are you doing? Good to see you. Sorry I missed your live stream last Tuesday. For some reason, I have you. Let me get this thing straightened out here. I hit the notification bell for your channel, but for some reason it is not notifying me when you have your live stream on Tuesdays. But I will try to do better about getting on there and getting on your live streams on Tuesdays. Invisible River says Tigger is mostly gray, like the AI pic. And Woody says, "Who dat? What's up, Woody? How are you doing, my good friend? I'm so glad you're on tonight. It's good to see you. How is your eBay? How are your eBay sales going? Mine. I'm gonna talk about my eBay sales a little bit tonight, but mine have been off the chain. I mean, they have just been amazing for the last 31 days, almost at $8,000 for 31 days. That is unheard of for a January. But usually during January, I'm on the road, and I'm last week was the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous in Quartzsite. And as you knew from my last live stream that I missed the Rubber Tramp Rendezvous this year. I knew I wasn't going to get to go to that. But my plan was to go to the Schoolie Palooza in Vandenberg, which started on the 16th. And today is the 18th. So it started 2 days ago, but it lasts like 2.5, 3 weeks. So I was planning on leaving on the 16th and going to the Schoolie Palooza and being there for maybe a week or so, or 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, who knows. But a couple things happen, and I'll explain that as we go through the live stream. Hey, Badlands Bandit, welcome to the live stream. He says, good evening, Sam and Tigger. Hello, Retire Inspired Nation. And Tim says, most Sundays at this time he is asleep in his office chair. So sad. Well, I did watch your live stream after the fact, Tim, and sorry I missed your live stream, but I'm gonna do my darndest to try to catch it this Tuesday And you're at 6 o'clock Central Time or 7. I'm not sure. I can remember. So, Woody, you sold a vintage Stanley Yankee number 135 ratchet spiral plush drill. That's a word. That's a mouthful. Screwdriver for $49.19. Cool, 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 cool. That is awesome. So Invisible wants me to finish explaining what happened and why I'm not there. Well, I think that the good Lord had other plans for me. He for some reason several obstacles got put in my way. Number one, bad weather. The weather has been really bad for the last week. Not necessarily here, but I understand there was some snow down in South Alabama either this morning or yesterday. Not sure. I think it was this morning, but they had some snow down in South Alabama. We didn't get any snow here in Montgomery, but in what we call Lower Alabama or also LA, they did get some snow from what I understand. I saw a bunch of pictures. And CG says retirement is underrated, has been doing some really good streams. He has. And I watched your interview, Tim, where you interviewed your wife's cousin, I think it was. And he was the he was the reason that you were inspired to come up with the name of your channel, which is Retirement is Underrated. So that was a real good interview that you did with him, and he had some real good advice. I really enjoyed watching that. I watched it all the way through. And William says that they did have some snow. He's in LA or Lower Alabama, and so they had some, and he said it had some that stuck. Badlands said near Destin they had snow this morning. Yeah, there was a big snow wave that came through. So that was one of the things, was the bad weather. Karen Roman, what's up, Karen? Hey, good to have you on here. Hope you're doing well tonight, Karen. What are you up to? So I was supposed to be on the road tonight, or not. I was supposed to be out and about tonight, not necessarily on the road tonight, but out. I was supposed to be in Arizona anyway. Put a long story short. So the other thing that happened, I was riding through the area. You guys know I have 4 storage buildings on a piece of land that doesn't have a house. I have 4 storage buildings out there. And I made a video about it. So if you watch my older videos, you've seen this video where I have these storage buildings. Well, I was driving through the neighborhood where the storage buildings are. I actually had to go to the storage building because I had to grab an item that I sold on eBay, and it was stored there. So it was actually a decanter that I was going to pick up. So I was driving close to the storage buildings. I saw this city truck, and it was a City of Montgomery truck, you know, with the little red, yellow flashing lights, and it says Montgomery Public whatever on the side of it, and the blue tags for the municipality tags. Well, usually when they're out in the neighborhood, it doesn't mean anything. Nothing good. Nothing good can come of it. So, and this was the case here as well. So he was in the neighborhood, and I figured, you know, I thought he was one of the people that were out there to do the appraisals on the property. You know, because they always run around and overestimate the values of our properties so that our city property taxes will go up every year. And so I asked him, I said, what you doing in the neighborhood? And so he told me. He said, I was just driving around and I saw these storage buildings on this property. And he said that he said, you're not allowed to have, he said, whoever has those storage buildings, he didn't know it was me at the time. He says, whoever has those storage buildings is not supposed to have that many or those storage buildings on the property without getting a variance approval from the city to have the storage buildings out there. Well, we were talking a little bit, and so I told him, I said, those are my storage buildings. And so what is going to happen is I'm going to have to apply with the city for a variance in order to keep those storage buildings out there. So it's had me a little bit on edge that that the city is now on my case about these storage buildings. So I'm going to have to either get approval, which I actually contacted a property someone who does land surveying and this sort of thing, and he's agreed to file all the paperwork and everything for me for a fee, of course. So he's going to file that, but it has to be filed by the 29th. But there's going to be a city meeting where they look at it kind of like a hearing. I guess they call it a hearing, where the board or whatever it is, they look at the facts and they determine whether or not you can keep the storage buildings or whatever it is you're wanting for the variance in order for that to be. So to make a long story short, I contacted the guy. He filed the thing. He's going to file the thing for me. The next hearing is on February 19th. Now, if I leave right now and travel to Arizona and I'm gone for 3 weeks, I won't be here for that hearing. And of course, I'm not going to get approved if I'm not there for the hearing. So I have to be here in Montgomery on the 19th of February in order to be there for the hearing. But I do still plan on traveling. That's my plan. Now, that could all change, but as of right now, I still do plan on traveling. Let me catch up on these comments. Karen says, hello from snowy New Jersey. All right. And retirement is underrated. Tim says that was a lot of fun. He's a good guy. He and his wife are a lot of fun. Yeah, your wife's cousin seems like a really fun guy to know. And Invisible River says, mountains on edge of valley has snow on it. I was watching another YouTuber whose channel is called Nomadic Fanatic, Eric, and he has bought another piece of property out in the Show Low area. And so he's setting it up and he's showing, apparently they got a lot of snow. There's different elevations there in Arizona. Some are real sunny and hot this time of year, and some are real snowy, apparently. So you guys get a lot of different kind of weather there. Karen says she's getting ready to have entertainment. Intendment chocolate frosted donut. Oh, okay. And I've never heard of an intendment chocolate frosted donut. You'll have to tell us a little bit more about that. And retirement is underrated. Said, did you see that at Retirement Survival had a video with 1 million views and he went to 76,000 subscribers? Oh, wow. I've never heard of Retirement Survival. I'll have to check that channel out. And I guess Painter Pops. I guess that's his, is that the link to his channel? Invisible said he's picking up on what I'm saying. And Tim says, sorry that happened to me about the storage buildings. Well, I am sorry as well. So we'll have to see how the saga plays out. Oh yeah, it's exciting. Big if. February is still similar weather, real nice. And over 4,500 feet, it snows a lot. Okay, so that was the link that you put up for the other guy. Okay. Well, that's great. That sometimes a video will hit and will really do well, and sometimes they just don't. I have one video and that has 977,000 views. I think is the current count right now, close to 1 million views on that one video, and I got over 1,000 subscribers, 1,000 new subscribers from that video. Valerie, my sister-in-law. Hey, Valerie, how are you doing? Good to have you on here tonight. Hope you're doing well tonight. So, there has been something that I have had on my mind lately, and I think I'm going to talk about it here a little bit tonight. Have any of you guys heard of a YouTuber called Adam the Woo? If you have, let me know in the comments. Adam the Woo, 977,000 views. That's awesome. My top one is 13,000. Still a rookie. Yeah, that one was way more than any other one that I've actually had. If you haven't heard of Adam the Woo, let me know. If you have heard of him, say yes, I've heard of him. Badlands says he hasn't heard of him. Invisible River, I think you're saying that you have heard of him. And Karen said that this she spelt it incorrectly. It's Intinmans. They make cakes, cookies, etc. Oh, that sounds yummy. Valerie is asking me, where am I going to be? Where are you going to be doing and still on the 28th? 28th, I don't think I have any plans. I'm not sure what day of the week is that. Karen says she is familiar with Adam the Woo, and yes, he passed. And Invisible says Intinment is the good stuff up north. Well, I have yet to partake of the Intinment, so that is something that I'm going to have to try to find the next time I go up north, maybe to Chicago or wherever it is I'm going to go. But getting back to Adam the Woo, I can't remember what his last name is. I think it's Williams or something like that, Matthews. I'm not sure exactly. But Adam had a daily video, and his YouTube channel, if you want to check it out, was called The Daily Woo. Now, I never heard of Adam the Woo until after he passed. I never went to his channel. I never saw any of his videos. And so I didn't know anything about Adam the Woo. He wasn't one of the YouTubers that I normally watch. So I started getting these notifications from other YouTubers that I do watch, and they were talking about Adam the Woo and how it was really sad that he passed. And in my past videos, I think I have talked about how fragile, life is, and how that we're not guaranteed another day on this earth. So that means that we need to really appreciate the days that we are here, and we need to appreciate the people who are in our lives. And that's really what is important in life, is that the relationships that we form. And I've formed some really great relationships with you guys, even though I may have only come in contact with a couple of you, and that it's good to have those relationships in life, and to have people in your inner circle that you can share things with, and that you can talk to, and that you feel like that they're, even though they're not your biological family, you feel close to them like you would family. But getting back to Adam the Woo, he was 51 years old, and he passed away on December the 22nd. He went to bed one night and just never woke up. And as of, I don't think they have an official cause of death yet that has been put out. But it looks like he just died of a heart attack or an aneurysm or some kind of natural thing happened to him while he was sleeping. 51 years old. I'm 57 and I'll be 58 next month. So I am 7 years older than Adam was. And so, things like that sometimes make you think about life and, where are your priorities and that sort of thing. It's real easy to get caught up in daily living and, life can get a hold of you. And Invisible says you can go to the bakery store is half price. And Valerie is asking me, what am I doing on the 28th? And that I'm invited to her birthday on the 28th of February. Well, congratulations on having another birthday. I will see what I can do. I would like to come and spend some time, me and Carol both, if we can, and come and spend some time with you on your birthday. So happy, happy, happy birthday. My birthday is the 21st of February, so we're only about 7 days apart as far as our birthdays go. Invisible said German in Venice found him. So yes, I was aware that German in Venice found Adam, that they couldn't get him to come to the door or something like that. And they were calling him and finally they just they got into the apartment or the house where he was living because he bought a house. They do similar stuff. That is true. They do. Looks like Adam was born in Tupelo, same as Elvis. Yes, he was born in Tupelo. And, like I said before, I wasn't even aware of Adam the Woo's channel before he passed. But since he has passed, I have been watching his videos, and his dad actually went with him on a trip. I think it was like a week-long trip, and they visited different places where they had lived as Adam was growing up, and they even visited places where his dad lived before he was born, and when his dad was growing up. So they went on like a road trip, him and his dad, and they made videos about it. Well, Adam's dad is also has a YouTube channel. And I don't know, for those of you who have watched Adam the Woo, if you're aware that Adam's dad now is starting to make videos on daily vlogs like Adam did. He had a YouTube channel, but he kind of quit posting videos on it. So when Adam died, he said it kind of inspired him to go back and start making more videos to so that he can express his feelings and opinions about different things and be able to have an outlet. For him, that's a way that he can connect to friends of Adam's who are YouTubers, and also a way that he can process and be able to deal in his own way with with the loss of his son. I can't imagine losing a child. And that seems like the worst thing in the world. Most people outlive their children. Most children outlive their parents. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said that, but most children outlive their parents. Most parents do not expect to outlive their children. So, it's got to be really difficult to deal with. And I can see the pain in his dad when he is doing his videos. I can see the pain in his eyes, as he's thinking about what a tremendous loss it was for him to lose his son. So, it just, things like that, all my life, I have been reminded from time to time through unexpected deaths that, just how fragile life is. My brother, he was 58 or yeah, he was 58, I believe he was. And, he went in for a surgery to correct an issue that he was having, and he never made it out of the hospital. He passed away. So, he didn't even make it to 60, didn't even get to retire. And, he passed away. His name was Dwayne. And his name was Kenneth Dwayne Smith Sullivan. He changed his last name to Sullivan, but he kept the Smith. He changed the last name to Sullivan because Smith is so common. So, so Karen says that there are no Intamin's outlet stores near her. She buys them at $3.99 when on sale. I bet I could get them online. I might just see if I can find some online. Invisible said he had a heart attack at around the same age. Wow, I didn't know you had a heart attack, Invisible. So glad that you're still with us. And Tim says he's 62. Life is short. The one thing you can't buy in life is time. Don't waste it. It is a gift. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. 100%. And Invisible says it's always a mention of someone passing on the football shows round that age. And Badlands says the famous quote from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it. And Invisible says he hears that Tigger is starting his own Tigger-inspired channel. Well, that's news to me. I had no idea that Tigger was starting his own channel, but I think it would be a success. He'll probably have 1 million plus subscribers, and he'll get that million views on his first video, of course. And Invisible said he had 3 stints. So, getting back to my discussion about Adam the Woo, it kind of made me think about another person, another really even more famous person than Adam the Woo that I didn't even know existed before he passed. And if you ask me who that is, I will tell you. But this person was globally famous and very well known, and he passed away in 1977. So some of you have probably already guessed who I'm talking about. Now I'm not sure exactly how old he was, but if I want to say Elvis Presley was in his 40s when he passed away. But he passed away from an overdose of drugs. Tim got it. Yep, it was Elvis. And and I had never heard of Elvis, believe it or not, but when he died. But in 1977, I was only 9 years old. So you wouldn't expect a 9-year-old to know who Elvis Presley was in 1977. So he died unexpectedly also. Never heard of him before he passed away. But I do remember the day that he passed, watching the TV, and it came on the evening news, and it said Elvis Presley has died at the age of whatever he was. I think he was, I don't know, 40, 48, 47, 48, 49. Y'all tell me. But that's another example of somebody that I did not know of that passed away way too young. But as I'm starting to get into watching Adam the Woo's channel called The Daily Woo, I'm starting to get to know him. He put a lot of himself in his videos, and he was very open. He would go. He. How do you do a daily vlog? How do you do that? I don't think I could do a daily vlog. I mean, you would just be watching me eat breakfast every day, which is either cereal or it's sometimes I have sausage, bacon, eggs, grits, pancakes, the whole 9 yards. But he did a daily video, a daily vlog, and he made it interesting. It was very interesting. Um, so I've been catching up on his vlogs and watching his videos. Yeah, it was a big deal back when Elvis passed away. That was surprising for everybody. Kind of like when Michael Jackson passed away. You know, we didn't expect to get news that Michael Jackson passed away, and it was almost eerily very similar circumstances, except that Michael Jackson had an attending physician there with him when he passed. Uh, Ritualistic. Some folks go to that. Oh yeah, you're talking about the daily videos that Adam did. Um, I know Invisible and Karen. You said you both knew about Adam the Woo. Did you guys watch him on the regular, or was he just someone that you occasionally watched? Did you watch him daily? Karen said that she went to see an Elvis impersonator once. As she remembers, it was a lot of fun. I've never actually seen an actual Elvis impersonator in a show. I've never been to an Elvis impersonator show. I can't say I've never seen an Elvis impersonator because when I was in North Carolina about late October, um, when I was in North Carolina in October, there was an Elvis impersonator that was doing a show, but I didn't pay to go see it. I did hear it from the lobby, but and I did meet the guy. So I have met an Elvis impersonator, but never have been to a show. Tim says remembered. I know Tim. You know, you were talking in one of your videos about losing a brother um, way too soon. So I know you can relate to what I'm saying tonight on my live stream as I'm talking about, you know, about life and in general, you know, and how it just kind of shocks your whole system when someone that is not supposed to be dead, you know, just dies for whatever reason. Um, Invisible says, I saw some on movie locations and some graveyard visits in the middle of the night out of the blue, not watch him like you. Okay. You mean you watch me more than Adam the Woo? I am I am humbled. Uh, and Tim says that he hopes what he provide conveys compassion even when he don't agree with him. And Invisible says, up at night, can't sleep, go on the YouTube. And Karen says she did not watch Adam, but many she followed were shocked and sad. That's how I heard about him, because I had never even heard the name Adam the Woo before before he passed. But like I said, as I'm starting to watch his videos and starting to get to know him as a creator, as a content creator, and as a person, um, I really do enjoy his videos. He was a very articulate person, and some of the videos that he made where he would go to different places that were well known, and he would identify different spots from like Forrest Gump movie. Um, he liked Forrest Gump, which was one thing that we have in common. I enjoyed the movie Forrest Gump. And also I found out that his favorite movie of all time was the Back to the Future series. So so his favorite movies of all times was the Back to the Future series, and that is also my favorite movie of all times. So it's kind of interesting how he and I had very similar likes as far as the movies go. So that's one thing that got me interested in watching Adam. And Tim said his brother Ken, same name as my brother. His name was Kenneth Dwayne, passed away at 71, and he was the only one out of 5 brothers at his funeral. Tim, if you don't mind my asking, why were you the only one of 5 brothers that was at his funeral? Was he not liked, or were they just having other things that they could not get away from? Or I'm just curious, just to be honest with you. Maybe it's none of my business, but I'm interested. CG said he heard of Adam the Woo, but didn't know much about him. Well, now you'll have to go watch his channel, CG. I think you'll really enjoy his videos. So go check him out. Go check out his videos. And I'm not sure. I imagine his father is probably the one who is receiving the benefits from his YouTube channel now. I don't know how that works. Would be an interesting question. You know, if you're a YouTube content creator and you pass away, who gets the money from your videos? Because money is going to keep coming even after you pass, because like as big as he was, he had almost 500,000 subscribers. So I know a lot of people after he passed are now watching his videos, like me. So I'm sure his videos are are still producing a considerable amount of income. Valerie says Elvis was 42 when he had the heart attack. And Karen says she watches mostly vintage resellers and a few crime trials. She's trying to stay away from true crime. CG says his grandfather, who was like a third parent to him, passed away when he was young, but his legacy continues to comfort and inspire him. I understand that. Lawyer does that stuff. And Tim says the brothers were petty and lacked forgiveness. His brother had a way of rubbing some the wrong way, but he was my brother and I loved him no matter what. Well, that is really sad. I'm sorry that he passed, and I'm sorry that he did not have a good relationship with his other siblings. That's hard. I have a brother that I'm not currently in a good relationship with. Come here, Tigger. He was made the executor of my dad's will when my dad passed away. He was supposed to divide the land up with he gets 2 parts of it, and I'm supposed to get 1 part of it. As of today, I don't know if he has not even executed the will, and it's almost been 2 years since my dad's passing, and he hasn't executed the will. So if you're watching right now, Brad, that's too long. You should have already taken care of that. That was your responsibility as the executor of the estate. And you need to go ahead and execute that will, because it needs the property needs to be settled. So Karen says that's a good question. Who gets the royalties when one passes? I'd check with a lawyer. I would imagine that it goes to the next of kin, whoever he has designated in his will that would get his his property and his belongings and his stuff. That's what I I would just guess it would be kind of like someone who makes songs or records albums and passes away. It sounds like it would go to whoever he has designated in his will, as Invisible River said. Whatever is said in the will. I think you're correct, Invisible, on that. But I don't know, so it'd be interesting to find that out. But it seems like it would go to the next of kin. If there wasn't a will, then I guess it would have to be probated. Invisible River says he was the executor. Don't imagine. Yeah, I shouldn't assume. That makes an ASS out of you and me, right? So YouTube does some funky stuff. Well, I got a 1099 from YouTube, from not from YouTube, but from Google this year because of my earnings from YouTube. It wasn't said in will that they not. If it wasn't said in the will that they not. Valerie, is that you, William, talking on Valerie's? I'm not even in the will, but I'm dealing with it. Yeah, William, my brother William, for whatever reason, was not even included in the will. As a matter of fact, it said that my brother Brad would get his share. And that was so that my brother Brad could take care of William. Well, my brother Brad is not taking care of William because William is married. He is living with his wife and his mother-in-law. And so he doesn't need Brad to take care of him. So Brad just gets his share of the estate, and that's it, period. Tim says, family stuff is so hard and deep. I feel it. Unfortunately, people behave badly when wills and such come up. I have seen it firsthand. I'd rather have people back than anything I get from them. I agree with you. It is difficult when you have a family member who has decided that they want to be in control and in charge and want to make you think that you're not in charge. So I don't know why anyone has to be in charge. To be honest with you, if you were made the executor of the estate, then obviously then you are charged with the responsibility of executing the will. And if you are almost 2 years into it and you haven't done it yet, either you're doing it as a power play in order to gain control or think you have control, or or you're just doing it to be an ASS, which in my opinion is probably the latter, or maybe both. Let's see. First sentence in the will, deleted my brother's in the will. Yeah, my brother William, who is on here tonight, he was mentioned in the will, but it was told that he would not get anything, that his share would go to my other brother, Brad. And my oldest brother, as I've already mentioned, passed away at the age of 58, so he wasn't included in the will at all. Invisible said all he had to do was give him a copy of the will, and he gave him the Ford car. Well, I'm curious, Invisible, how did that affect your relationship with your brother? With you were just executing the will the way it was written, but he was basically left out of the will. So did that affect your relationship with your brother, or did he understand it? I know you gave him a Ford car, but how did that affect your relationship with him? And Valerie says, if you don't mind saying, how much does YouTube pay you for the amount of followers you have? Well, I can tell you this, if this is William speaking, which I believe it is, YouTube pays me not enough to buy groceries with. I don't think I could even pay one of my monthly bills with what I get from YouTube. It's somewhere around $100 a month. Tim says, I helped my wife be an executrix. The filing of the will can take up to a year. The paperwork was unbelievable. I can imagine it is, but it seems like it would be different from one state to the next. Maybe some states are more complicated than others. I don't know. But 2 years should be plenty of time to have executed a will. And there is I do have a recourse. So my recourse is, and I hope that it doesn't come to this, but my recourse is that I can file to have him removed as the executor of the will if he has not executed the will within the 2-year time period. There is a 2-year period which you're allowed to take to execute the will, and maybe he will execute it before the 2 years is up. However, I do have some recourse. If the will is not executed within the 2 years, then I can file to have him removed as being the executor of the will. And I'm not sure what course of action would follow that. If it go to the probate judge, and the probate judge would make a determination about who gets what after that. And I imagine it would probably be based on the will, so that maybe the judge would be the one to execute the will after that. I'm not sure exactly how that goes. I hope that I don't have to take that route with my brother. Karen says, I thought if one wanted to delete someone, usually a close family member, you make a point of leaving that person $1, and that takes care of that. Was the way he was removed always. And I didn't know what he did, but did enough with me. And that is William on Valerie's account. So one of his, Tim says, one of his brother-in-laws was a real jerk when we worked on this. He was a spoiled brat and still is. And Invisible says it might be they did most was in Florida. They got their money. The will was in Massachusetts, according to Tim. The brother-in-laws needed to sign off on everything. And Karen says, take the recourse stat. What is he waiting for? Someone to pass? I don't know. I have no idea what he's waiting for. And Tim says there was an elder care attorney helping him. And Invisible says, I wouldn't wait any longer than I have to. Marty, where you been, Marty? We've been missing you. Glad you can make it. Better late than never. And Invisible says you legally don't have to wait. Yes, well, we're getting pretty close. May will be 2 years since my dad passed. So, we're getting very close to the 2-year time period. I don't think I'm going to wait until the 2 years is up. So, we'll see. I'm not going to show my hand here, but I certainly will be taking action if the will is not executed. Marty says she went to church tonight. Good job. Glad you got to church tonight. You're just being nice. It don't take that long. I agree. It don't take that long. I think it's a power play. I think he's using his I think he's using his position as an executor to kind of wield his authority, so to speak. Tim says this stuff stirs up all sorts of stuff. Don't let it mess you up or change who you are. I agree. It doesn't, not a bit. And it's unfortunate that sometimes you have to do things that you don't like, and it has affected my relationship with my brother. So I think he is a little bit of a power-hungry person, because I found out not too long ago there was a piece of furniture that I specifically told him even before my dad passed, and we talked about it, that I wanted. It was really the only piece of furniture that I wanted that was in my dad's possession, that my dad owned. It was a Hoosier cabinet, a very old Hoosier cabinet, white in color, and it belonged to my great grandmother. And I don't know if she was the first owner of it, but I know it belonged to her. And then it was passed on to my dad eventually. But my brother, Brad, I guess he thought that it would get under my skin that he gave it to my other brother, William. So, even though William was left out of the will, he's received 2 items of value. He received a car, and he received this Hoosier cabinet that my brother Brad knew that I wanted. And I have still yet to receive one item, not one single item of my dad's have I received since his passing. And I know he had money in the bank as well. So all that money in the bank, there needs to be an accounting for that. And so far, there hasn't been, but there will be. Marty says, I thought you was going to Arizona. I was. You should, if you had been here earlier, I explained it all. So if you want to hear the explanation for it, you got to go back and watch the whole video after we're done. More dust than a dirt road. And Invisible says, yes, it's power, and not a positive energy. Karen says she had 9 brothers and sisters, and she forgave and forgot. She's the baby and only had 3 siblings left. You love them all, as I realize it's hard being human. I agree, Karen. I think that's, the devil throws these roadblocks in our way sometimes, and I think he is using my brother Brad to try to get to me. But I see him for what he is, the devil, that is, not my brother. Of course, I see him for what he is too. But I'm not going to let that affect me. As far as, I'm going to do whatever I have to do to have the will executed and to get my 1/3 of the property that my dad wanted me to have in the will. So, I'm going to do what I have to do. It's just that. I'm not going to make it personal. And I'm not going to hate. Tim says, I hope everything works out for you in the end, and there is peace. I understand the messed up stuff. I have that with my remaining brothers. I'm sorry that you're dealing with that with your brothers too. They must be difficult to deal with as well. And William says, get me some money while you're at it. Well, I don't think Brad's going to give you anything, William, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying that to be mean, but he seems to be very attached to anything that has dead presidents on it. You know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? So yeah, he's very attached to money, and money is the root of all evil. That money is already spent. Yeah, I think so. I think it is. But that doesn't mean that I can't make him be accounting for it. Um, just do what's legal. Good on you. Hate only hurts the one who hates. I agree. And I've heard this saying before, that when you hate somebody, it's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. And when I heard that the first time, I was like, wow, that is profound. Um, when you hate somebody, it's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die. Think about it. Tim says a bunch of German nutheads, knotheads, old and opinionated. His mother would smack the whole lot of us. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's one thing. You know, when I do pass, I really don't want my children or my family members to fight over anything that I have, because everything I have I've earned. None of it has been inherited, and so there is not. My dad had 40 acres of land that he inherited some of it, but he also bought some of it. But he inherited most of it from his parents. So this property, this is inherited property that I'm supposed to be getting. It's not something my dad earned in his lifetime that he just wanted me to have. It's something that he inherited, and it was going to be passed down and intended to be passed down to his children. So Invisible says a lawyer will give more percentages since you're already gone. Karen says, no, the love of money is the root of all evil. Money can be used to do good. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Thank you for correcting the wording on that. I had the thought correct. The wording is not money that is the root of all evil. It's the love of money that is the root of all evil. And my brother, Brad, loves money. It drives his every thought. He wakes up thinking about it. He has a whole drawer full of it in his house that he's so proud of that he has to show everybody whenever they come over. um, Tim says that is profound. Thank you. Um, I'm thinking really profoundly here lately. Good karma. Tim says I have 2 kids. What is left is split evenly. If I can do it, I will try to have most of it cash. They are not hung up on items, and they are great Christians. That's great that that your children are not hung up on items. But as far as what I have to pass on to my children, um, I I want to probably try to spend everything I have, because I mean I earned it all. Now the property that I will receive, which I will receive it, the 1/3 of the land that was 40 acres out there, I will get that. The property that I will receive, that will be probably passed on to one of my children. I don't plan on passing it on to all of them. I plan on passing it on to one of them because I want to keep it all together. Yep, the old drawer of money. Tim says, who knows? Maybe I will spend it all and take care of the problem. That sounds like a wise thing to do, Tim, because it sounds like money, or the love of money, is the root of all evil. Wouldn't last long in the city. And then William is telling me I should return good for evil. Well, that would be interesting. It takes a big person to be kind to somebody who is not kind to them. And I can't say I'm that big person. Invisible says he's got a cabinet of money, but he don't show it. We're not, hey, Invisible, Monopoly money does not count, okay? I'm just kidding. All my money's in the bank. I don't keep any of it at the house. Not a penny of it. But I was going to share with you guys some. I'm going to be real quick about it because this live stream has just kind of evolved into something more than I had intended. But I was going to show you guys what my eBay store has been doing the last 31 days. So let me show you that real quick, because if you guys are interested in selling part-time on eBay, for those of you who are on here, like Woody, if you're still here, and I think Karen said she does some selling online, but it is a really fun way to bring in a little bit of extra income, and I just totally enjoy selling on eBay. It's so much fun. Check this out. This is the last 31 days. 31 days of selling on eBay. $7,791.03. Out of that, $436.51 were paid in taxes. My selling costs were $2,221.94, and my total net the last 31 days is $5,132.58. Wow, that is a record for me for a 31-day total. It's up 27.8% since the last time period for total sales, and the net sales is up 33.2% from the prior time period. And I sold 101 items. Average sales price per item was $77.14. So let me show you the last 90 days in sales. This is where it really is crazy. Last quarter. Let's do the last 90 days. Actually, it'd probably be better to go to show it here, selling. All right, so I don't know if you can see it because it may be small, but this chart right here shows the last 90 days. The last 7 days is $2,072.41. Today alone, my sales were $538. My sales yesterday were $399, and my sales the day before that were $348.28. So the last 90 days is $17,850.47. $17,850.47 in the last 3 months. That is insane. 33.1% higher than the last time period. Taxes, I paid $1,099 in taxes alone, and my selling costs were $5,320.78. So my net sales for the last 90 days was $11,430.60. So Brad, I don't need the money, but do what's right. All right, so So I'm not going to take up any more of your time with that. I just thought I would share that with you because it is really a awesome thing. I enjoy it so much. Um, Valerie says, or William says he has a coin collection. And Tim says the stream got sidetracked. Yes, it did. But that's okay because I think that the conversation that we had was worth it. And I think I needed to say a couple of those things too. I just needed to process some of that stuff. Invisible says it's good you get to see January numbers. And it's up there still flying. You're going to need the money for the variants. Yeah, that's true. Tim says, way to go, Sam. So happy for you. Thank you very much. Valerie says, William says, Sam, you should liquidate everything one day and spend all the money. That's what I plan on doing, is selling everything and going crazy. Invisible says, I tried fighting a variance of a neighbor, and they always get but his fees. And Karen says she's on eBay. It's a necessity. Your sales are impressive. You know a lot. I sell mostly brick and brack. Yep. Well, I mean, I'm not showing it to you to like brag or anything. I'm just really excited about it. And if I had gone to Arizona, I wouldn't have made all that money. But the love of money is the root of all evil. So I shouldn't be worried about the money. I should be worried more about the relationships and spending time with my family and my friends. But Valerie, I would like to come and spend time with you on the 28th. Me and 28th of February. Me and Mrs. Side Hustle, also known as Carol, we'll do our best to come. We are all different, but it's fun. Are our buyers mostly men? Just curious. I don't know. That's a good question. I think a lot of women. I mean, I may be wrong. You tell me, Karen. You're a woman, so you got a better perspective on this than I do. I think more women buy on Poshmark and some of these clothing sites that deal specifically in clothing and purses and shoes and stuff like that. Women are not as much. I mean, there are some, I'm sure, but women, seems to me, are not as much into the electronics, video games, all that stuff. But tell me what your thoughts are on that. And Invisible says, sounds like a tax bill to me. Yeah, it is a tax bill, unless you bought a bunch of storage buildings that you can write off if I don't get them taken away from me. You're saying, are your buyers mostly men? I don't know. It doesn't say. I mean, I can look at their names as I sell stuff, but I don't really pay much attention to the names of my buyers. But it probably is mostly men because I sell mostly electronics, video games, and that sort of thing. The memories of this place are amazing. You will remember the rest of your life. Off the charts. Karen says, my niece thinks men open their wallets more. Could be. Could be that they open their wallets more to females because they have a soft spot for females. I think it just depends on the man, though. I think it depends on the person. And William says, Stephanie says she's going to start reselling clothes. Okay. And Invisible says, not like the YouTube demographics. Yeah, the YouTube demographics, most of my watchers on YouTube, it does tell me if it's male or female. So I think most of my viewers on YouTube are males, and they're in their late 50s and middle 60s and 70s up. Tim says, do the expenses on eBay include your shipping costs? Can you write off most of your expenses? Yes, I do. I do write off most of my expenses. So this house that I'm using is a house. It's got 3 bedrooms, and I don't do anything in here but sell on eBay, and I do my leases for my properties that I have that I rent. So so that's another thing that I make money with is my rental properties. So that's another thing that I have to account for on my taxes and that sort of thing. So my taxes are getting more and more complicated every year. So now I've got the rental houses, I've got eBay, and now I've got my booth, my flea market booth. Don't forget, you remember my flea market booth, and my flea market booth has been doing really good this year. Last year, I made over $10,000 in the flea market booth, and that's only since May. And so it took them a couple of months just to figure out I was there. And now, December, oh my goodness, I did over $2,000 in sales in my flea market booth in the month of December. Um, so one thing that I am going to have to do as I get closer to 60s, my age being 60, I'm 58, 57, I'll be 58 next month. But as I get closer to 60 and closer to 62, receiving Social Security, and I'll be cashing in on my second IRA, my Roth. I'll have other incomes coming in, so I want to start getting rid of the houses, and I want to scale back on the eBay way, way, way back. Maybe not even doing it at all. I don't know. And maybe just doing the flea market booth. But anyway, I have kept you guys on here for way longer than I normally do. It's an hour and 15 minutes that we've been on here. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the night. Tim says, that's amazing. Doing your taxes must be a big project. Yes, it is a big, and I do it myself. I do it on TurboTax. So, but TurboTax is, works pretty good. Invisible says it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been real, and it's been fun, but I can't see it's been real fun. No, I can say it's been real fun. I've had a great time tonight talking to you guys, and I appreciate all of you being with me tonight and spending this time with me. Just letting me say what I want to say. Karen said that in my last video, she said she didn't peg me for a liberal thinker, and the fact is I am absolutely not a liberal thinker. I'm the opposite of a liberal thinker. I'm probably one of the most conservative people that you'll ever want to meet. I just don't agree with the politics of our current president. Not that I cared for the one before him, because I think he was a disaster. But but anyway, that's my thoughts. I'm just concerned about some of the things he's been doing lately. I'm really worried about our country. But anyway, William says, I really enjoyed having you and Carol here the week after Christmas. We enjoyed being there, and I enjoyed documenting that, making a video of it. Tim says, thanks, glad I could join. It was fun. Tim, I'm gonna do my very best to be there on Tuesday. So if you guys want to go join Tim on his live stream, he's on his live stream every Tuesday. I want to say 6 o'clock, but please put the time on there if I'm incorrect, Tim. But go check him out, check out his channel, and I'm going to do my best to be there on Tuesday. I want to support you as much as you are supporting me. I will see you all soon. Have a great weekend. Going to eat my donuts. Man, I wish I had some donuts. And Invisible says 80 is too old for a leader. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodnight to you guys. Thanks again for being with me. I appreciate you all. I'm so glad that we had this community, that we have this friendship, that we can all come together and share our thoughts and enjoy each other's company for the hour that we're together. So, so you guys be sure and come back next Sunday. I'll do my best to try to do another live stream 7:30 p.m. I want to let you guys know what my plans are, because I do still plan on going out west. That's an annual trip that I make, and I do still plan on doing that. It's just going to be delayed a little bit, but I am looking forward to it, and I do plan on doing that because I want to make some content while I'm out there too. Karen says he runs circles around many people half his age. Are you talking about me? And don't even think about touching Karen's donuts. Okay. Well, I wish I could go to New Jersey and get some, but I might have to go to Krispy Kreme. I wonder if they're still open. We have a Krispy Kreme here in Montgomery. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. Love you all. And I will see you next Sunday. So come back and join me. And also, I will try to put out some content this week. So you guys be sure and watch my content. Go check out Tim. He said he'll be 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on Tuesday. So go check out his live stream on Tuesday. So you guys take care. Love you all. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.